Hi, I'm Margaret and welcome to Garden School. It's a very, very rainy day today, but I was thinking about what I'm going to put in the pea patch once I harvest the spinach. Spinach is getting ready to harvest, and you know how it goes. Nature abhors a vacuum, kind of like people in my own family. But I'm going to have an empty space there, and I want to have something ready to go back in that space when it's available. So I thought, bush beans. I think I can do that. I'm going to show you what I've got here. So this morning I put some different bush beans in water to soak. That's what's recommended. It'll help that coating, the seed coat, to soften so that the seeds will be able to germinate really quickly. I've got some bush beans, a variety I think called Contender, and then I have a variety I'm not sure the variety name because they came from Europe, so we'll see, but they're bush bean. So we're gonna, they've been soaking now for about 8 or 10 hours, and I'm gonna pot them up into little containers. Now the reason I'm gonna plant them up into containers is because that space is not available yet in the pea patch. The spinach is growing there right now, but not for too much longer. Now, if you have the room, you can certainly do succession plantings of bush beans. It's a nice idea if you are looking to extend the length of your harvest and not just have it be, like in one, 4-week period or 3-week period, but you can extend it by staggering your plantings of bush beans. Now, I've just used a 4-inch pot here and filled it with potting soil, and I've got 2 kinds, so I'm going to be making markers so that I remember which kind is which. So I want to show you that some of the bean seeds will actually, the seed coat will slip off while it's soaking, and there you see the 2 halves of the bean seed. Now remember, beans are dicots. That means their seed has 2 parts, 2 halves to it. And then when you see those little seedlings germinate, you'll see those 2 cotyledon leaves, those 2 first leaves that come up. That is the remnants of these little halves of beans. Now this one that came apart, I'm not going to plant that. That's not going to be viable. That's okay. So there I've got my seeds for the yellow beans planted, or in the little holes. I'm going to cover them up and press them down a little bit more, and they will be off to a great start. Now beans want to have the soil temperature to be at least about 60 degrees. If the soil is too cold, they will not germinate very well. Well, I'll finish this up. So if you plant too early when your soil is too cold, you will not get good germination on the beans. That's something to think about. But now, even though our air temperature isn't what we really want it to be every day, in this particular year, our soil temperature is sure ripe enough, or warm enough, warm enough. I'm gonna put these guys in the greenhouse because I've got space where that warmth, the extra warmth in the greenhouse will encourage them to germinate faster even. So here in the greenhouse, I've moved all of my starts, most of my starts ready to go out into the garden out, so I got plenty of room. I've got my tags and my little containers. They're ready to go. Now, if you don't have a place like a greenhouse, you could certainly just continue to use containers to pot up until you have available space for your little seedlings. It does not need to be in a greenhouse. So beans do not need to be planted in containers. I'm doing that again until I have space available, and they do not need to go in a greenhouse. I'm putting them here because I have it available as well. Well, thank you for joining me on this very rainy day activity. We can still do some gardening. even though it might not be what we would desire. But this is a good thing to do a succession planting of bush beans in containers so that they can be developing into little seedlings until we have space available in the pea patch. So remember, you do want to have soil temperature that's warm enough. Don't start too early. If you happen to do that or you get poor germination, just replant. Beans are pretty forgiving and you should get some good results. I hope so. I hope I do too. Well, it's been really fun. Thanks for joining me. There's always more to learn in the garden. Bye-bye.